We appreciate everybody rolling through. We're going to go through a couple topics. Don't have a ton this week. It might be a lighter week, but we're going to go through a couple topics, talk through the macro, get Jake's thoughts and everything. And, just kind of cool, kind of kick it and get some conversation going. Jake, how are you? Sorry, I did forget to mention, as always, got to say it. The show's not financial advice. Always make your own decisions. We're just getting the information out there. But Jake, GM brother,
yes,
how you
doing? I'm doing good, man. Sun's shining over here. Weather's getting warmer. Markets, rising up a bit here. Happy with the Lisan El Gaib. I actually finally watched Dune 2 over the weekend. That was a great movie. I was sleeping on it too much. I should have watched it earlier, but I finally understand the memes. That feels great. But yeah, man. Feeling good so far. How about you?
Hanging in there, man. I have not seen it yet, so I still don't get the memes, but I've been just pretending I do, and I haven't been called on it yet. So maybe I should go do my homework and get smart on it. No, I'm good, man. Had a good weekend. Dug a mud pit into a rain garden, so that was super fun. But my back is killing me. And it's still a mud pit, but at least it has some like rocks and plants and stuff in it now. Let's see. Last week we had the halving go live, man. We had the halving happen. We had runes go live. Anything there, man? Did you get in on the action? Did you get any runes? Any takes or anything? Anything that surprised you from the happening?
Yeah, I didn't go in as hard as I wanted to. I kind of just got caught up with some other stuff, IRL stuff. So I didn't have as much time as I was planning on. Get set up for it. I did get some like Satoshi Nakamoto, that one, because it seemed like a good play. I think that one's doing pretty well at the moment. But I know it seemed like a lot of them cooked. I'm not sure what prices are. I haven't checked this morning if they might have dropped a little bit from where they were. But I think from mint price, there's a lot of good ones, especially like the top 10s for people. It seemed like people have done pretty well on them so far. I think there's going to be another wave. I would anticipate once more get listed and once Magic Eden has, ideally if their marketplace is like a good interface and UI, that would certainly help compared to right now. I think like the fact that they're trading similar to like the BRC20s where it's like in batches and stuff, I think that hurts. As it's just harder to it's just like another I guess what's the word for it, like obstacle, I guess, of adoption. So yeah, that's interesting. I'll save the rune talk mostly for the guys on the Boss Dog show, which is later today, 5 p.m. Eastern, I think in about 4.5 hours. I know they were a lot more involved in that and really dove in. I'm sure they'll cover runes pretty extensively over in that show. So we'll save it mostly for them. But yeah, did you get it on any rune stuff?
I did not. I was just a gleeful observer from the sidelines. I hope people cooked. I hope people were able to get in on some of those top 10. I loved Ezrin's write-up the following morning, which was kind of a TLDR for everybody that had shit going on and couldn't be terminally online day of. And it was essentially like we didn't need the nodes, but we all learned, right? That gave me a nice little chuckle just from all the pandemonium and panic and rush and everybody was doing to get the nodes set up. But I wouldn't let that discourage you. I have a feeling, man, one day there's going to be a time-sensitive ping, and it's going to be a great opportunity, and it's going to have a little asterisk that's going to say, you need a node to do this. And I'm going to be like, damn it. But so if you got the node set up, yeah, I wouldn't beat yourself up. But hopefully people cooked off the runes.
That's a great shout out. I just wanted to shout out everyone. Just MVHQ. There's kind of too many names to do so, but there's a lot of. I think it was like a really awesome time for MVHQ in terms of how many people pitched in to like help others, just getting ready, like the whole prep and setup. I think we were very, very much prepared. I mean, we had a couple different office hours regarding it. Runes and how to prepare for them. We had the the node help chat, as well as just the main ordinals and runes chat that was popping off with people helping each other, getting ready and sharing information, so everyone could cook during it and be properly prepared. So yeah, just shout out a lot of people. I know Bless was like doing one-on-ones to help out people. That was awesome. Ezrin, great TLDR and also sharing info. And I think there's a lot of people like there's probably too many people to shout out in general, but I just thought it was a really cool moment in general for the MVHQ community to come together. I think, the fact that everyone did put that amount of effort into helping one another, I think really is going to be a nice benefit financially for everyone involved too. So I just want to hope you guys give yourselves a pat on the back for helping each other out. I think it was a really cool moment.
Absolutely, man. You love to see it. Every time there's something like this, we pull together. Two more names that I want to throw out there were Blessed, and I think you did say Blessed, but Blessed and Chelsea. I've seen their names a lot. Just getting blessed for helping people and just being overall Chadettes. So GG's there. We can talk about stuff upcoming from the week, but I do want to do one more rear-facing thing, just a big news item from last week that I wanted to get your take on. Yeah, I see.
Before we do,
yeah, what's up?
Before we do, I'd like to start out with macro.
Okay,
and get into that stuff. Like usual, just as kind of an overview of things. So right now, we saw a nice little pump over the weekend with prices. We're up a good amount. I think we swept the lows on Bitcoin I'm referring to right now. Over the last week, I think it was Friday, and as well as like on Wednesday as well, we kind of hit around like 59K, 59.5K. It's kind of like the low of the current range that we've been bouncing around in. And since then, we're back up to 62K, 62.2 or 3 right now. Which is great, that we're getting some more progress upwards. I'd say, currently it's still in an uncertain range because we're still kind of bouncing back and forth. I would like to see us I still think like 64K is the magic number. If we get above that area, then I think it's time for another leg up in everything, and that would be I guess pretty amazing across the board. I think alts would rip as well as Bitcoin in that case. So that's really the number I'm looking for right now. But in the short term, my quants are telling me, and Crypto Don Alt, who I think has really good long term time frame predictions and analysis on stuff. But 68K would be a pretty good level to get it above, and we'd be looking a lot better for the bulls if we were able to get over that in the short term. So right now, still on easy mode. I wouldn't be going crazy at the moment. Still uncertainty. Chop, it could go down, could go up, but hopefully we get a little higher, and then I'll start feeling more and more better the higher we get, up to 74K, and I'll be feeling really good. So that's kind of my analysis right now. It's been unfortunate the stock market has been dumping the past couple of weeks, and that hasn't helped anything in the crypto markets either. It's not like it's 1-to-1 correlation, but it is still correlated. And it certainly doesn't help us, since they're both, risk assets. It certainly doesn't help that the stock market has been down only for the last 2 weeks. So if that can catch a little bit of local bottom, that will certainly help us as well. So something to keep an eye on. And then on ETFs side of things, I think this is becoming less and less impactful until we see any type of big changes. So I'm probably not going to really be mentioning this as much. But we were in total, I think it was a slight negative week. The GBTC dumping has been pretty, this pretty much the same on the daily. I think it's usually around like 100 million or so a day. That's outflow. We just haven't really seen any inflows into the other ETFs, and I think that could change once we start going up again. But right now, I don't think this metric is super useful as it once was when they first started. So, yeah, that's what I got for macro right now. I think if Bitcoin also does see a a bid and a pump, I think these alts can really bounce back pretty strong, given that they fell, a pretty good amount lower than what Bitcoin ended up falling on its initial dip, where we saw Solana up all the way down to like 120 or 110 or something like that. Already back to above 150 now, and I think Solana especially, it can get a really nice rebound if Bitcoin continues to show some strength. So, as well as some of these top other meme coins and alts like WIF, and we saw like PopCap doing well too, and probably like Bowden and some of these political ones that have been in the limelight for a while and have seen pretty consistent volume. So, but yeah, I think that's all I got on the macro side of things.
Beautiful. Sounds like we might be in buy the dip territory potentially. 74K, man. That sounds like a good number. Sounds good on my ears. Like hearing that.
Yeah.
Anybody
get there?
Fingers crossed, man. Maybe on Monday. Next Monday. Anybody have? I just want to pause here for a minute. Usually I don't, but I'd love to just kind of gauge the crowd, see if anybody has any other macro thoughts here. The way Bitcoin's moving, the way the market's moving. Any thoughts? Any dips that you guys are eyeing up right now? Love to just pause here for a minute and get any thoughts.
Last time around when Ukraine came in, if you guys remember, what was it, like 3 years ago, right? I think everyone was expecting, things to get crushed, and I think it just went up from there, basically, right? Obviously, like technical TAs always say that the charts front run news, right? That's kind of what they say. It's a little bit hard to react to that, but point is, like, even with like the instability on that side, like Jake is saying, like I think it's just a pretty good setup overall still. So I know I know the war thing is still on people's minds, but even with history of that, it still worked out well. So
yeah, that's a good shout. I forgot I was gonna say, just from what I've been seeing with the war stuff, it seems as though neither country, Iran or Israel, wants to do a full blown war. Is based on like their positioning and messaging so far. And I guess as a response to the attacks, they haven't really been anything, enormous enough that would indicate that they're ready for war. It seems like both are kind of like, it's almost like they're pissed at each other, but they know like there's going to be a lot bigger consequences if they do, really go full escalation mode. So they're kind of like doing like little, more of a, I don't want to say like little because it's like there's still human lives involved, but in terms of like global conflict, it seems to be on a smaller scale right now, and that neither of them really want to full blown escalate it so far. And I think the markets are starting to react positively to that. At least crypto market is. Stock market's still kind of been down, but yeah, in general, like you said, I mean, I shared this last week, but there's a chart of like, even though there is like global conflict. In the past, the markets it hasn't really been like a huge negative to the financial markets. Like they still have done like pretty decent, even, like 3 months to a year afterwards of the initial conflict. Like there hasn't really been any type of like significant trend where if there's a war and then like markets do terrible, it's usually pretty par for the course on average.
All right. Well said. Got to look to the historical precedent. Love it. Anything else on macro before we take a look at this week? Beautiful. Well, I can switch it up here on a bit of a lighter note and just run through some missions really quick. Not a ton, but there are a handful. So we've got Saku mission, which just opened up. It's going to be open for 7 more days. They have, I don't know, it seems like Cash App where you send money, but they have a game going on where you send $1 around the world. Then whoever can send it around to the most countries and the most individual wallets is going to win like 24 grand, which is pretty cool. So check that mission out. We also have Arkham. It's going to be open for 6 days. Juicy Perp has 2 days left. Mystic Labs has 1 day left. And Tycho, which I need to talk about for a second, has 7 days left on this mission. You're not going to want to miss out on this one. I wanted to highlight it just because, for the people that aren't keeping track at home, which, let's be honest, probably no one. But very quietly, we have a mission that has 116,000 participants and 84,000 mints. 84,000 paid mints on a mission is pretty insane. And it kind of happened in the blink of an eye. If you weren't paying attention, you wouldn't have caught it. But this is a free mint for Tycoons, which is on the Tyco blockchain. It's going to be a small collection size, and it's going to be a free mint. Scott Coast saying it's the next monad in chat, so the hype is
one thing to add,
palpable.
THC.
Yeah, sure. Hit me, Jinso.
Yeah, this is actually very important for MVHQ members. 50 spots are reserved for MVHQ token holders. So you're not fighting against 86,000 people to get this. You're fighting with whoever's in here. So if you're joining the mission as an MVHQ holder, you're fighting with maybe 150 people that joined from the community. You have a big chance of scoring big here. So don't miss it if you're an MVHQ and you have a key.
Yeah, don't miss out. Yeah, for sure. Just wanted to highlight that it's open, flex the numbers that are there currently, but also, as Jinso just did, flex. This is kind of our ability here to reward members and sort of flex our funnel for allocations and just rewarded members. So this is what it's all about here, getting these high profile gets and then having exclusive missions with them and hooking up the fam in more ways than one. So definitely these are the missions that are going to be expiring this week. So definitely don't miss Tyco. You have a week, but go ahead and just knock it out so you don't forget. You'll need a little bit of ETH on base. It's about $3 with the transaction fee and platform fee. So you have about 0.0009 or something like that. So yeah, knock that one out, get your experience, and potentially get allow listed here for a pretty hype free mint. That is all the missions for the week. Jake, what do you want to talk about to us this week, man? Hit me with something.
Yeah, well, we already started off talking about it at the beginning of the show, but I wanted to chat a little bit more about Saku.
Let's go. All our bags are packed with eggs. So talk sweet to us about it, please.
Yeah, we're going all in. It seems in MVHQ we had obviously the investment offered all members as well for an equity stake in the company at a $10 million valuation, and that was also that comes with a opportunity to get a token allocation as well once they do launch their token, which they are going to. They advertise it as well. It sounds like sometime like Q3 I would anticipate, maybe Q4, hopefully like around like September it sounds like tentatively. I'm not sure exactly when, but they're gonna, the things like we were talking about earlier before the show started, like doing actions within the game as well is also farming for the token, and then everyone who invested in the equity round is also going to get an allocation of token, and we'll get an opportunity to buy more token in the private sale. So, yeah, I think it's I think it's a really interesting game. It seems like they've had a good amount of downloads. To start off in the initial phase, which was just like extremely basic. You just tap an egg once a day. This next phase of these 10K blue eggs, I kind of just wanted to get a little bit more into it. It's going to be these eggs themselves. You're going to hatch into 25 different monsters, if you will, and these blue eggs are going to be only of their type, I guess. They're going to be limited until they introduce a new egg type, and then there'll never be any more of these blue eggs again. So this kind of seems like a bit of a Genesis NFT option, and maybe it's something like Pokemon where there's like 3 different types, that were like the Genesis, like the Squirtle, Charmander, Bulbasaur type thing. I guess Pikachu as well, but I know they're gonna do this one other egg drop for Android users. It seems like it's gonna be a smaller amount. They haven't said exactly the amount as far as I have seen for Android users once that app is live for Android, and then they'll be done with these eggs. So yeah, I think that's kind of why we were, or at least I was hype, and some others were hype about this drop, is that it's only $40 per egg, and you're eventually gonna be able to sell these eggs, and you're also going to be farming their token airdrop. And it's going to be pretty easy for this phase of farming. It's going to be they'll do a random notification twice a day on the app, and then you have 20 minutes within that time frame to respond to that notification, which I'm assuming is going to be very similar to the egg tap type thing. And I think there's also a mini game. I actually have not played the mini game yet in their app, but it's like I think it's like what's that? It was a really popular game.
Guitar Hero?
The Run one. Oh yeah, Guitar Hero. Is that what it was?
It's a little rhythm game.
Yeah. Yeah, that you could play as well. So, there's also going to be like rarer types. They call them the shiny types, which I guess you can kind of be like, pulling a holographic Pokemon card. It's a 1 in 200 chance, so it's very rare actually. If you're able to get those, I'm sure those are going to go for quite the premium on secondary. And I'm unsure about like if there's like how like the distribution of like the monsters that end up getting hatched from these eggs are going to be as well, but I would assume that there's probably going to be different rarities on those too. But yeah, just in general, I think it's I like it because it's low cost and it's high quality. It seems to be high quality animations and graphics. They have a lot of really good animations that they pump out on their Twitter. I think the art style is really fun and friendly. It is very much akin to Pokemon. And it's low time farming as well, which I really enjoy. I don't want to spend a ton of time myself to farm an app when there's just so many farming opportunities out there. So if there's something that's low cost and low time, then and it also seems like a quality brand, then that's something that's very interesting to me. So, and that I like to get involved in. So, this is certainly one I'm going to be farming over the next months. Disclaimer, I'm an investor, but I'm sure so are a lot of you as well. I don't think that's unknown. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. And if I missed anything important or any type of strategy that you guys are trying to employ here, please feel free to chime in here. But I wanted to at least bring up that future opportunity, even though it kind of just happened as well for the egg drop.
Yeah, lovely, man. Appreciate you doing that DV on that thing we all invested in. Now, I had one thing, just small thing to add, and it's just there's also going to be like seasons, and each season everyone will be able to mint like the same egg for that season. Like it'll be the same creature, no variation, but it can potentially be a shiny. So that could potentially be either, I'm not sure if it costs money to mint the seasonal egg or if that's free, but either way, if you're not minting a ton of eggs or you're going for a very like low cost farm, potentially just playing for free and doing that seasonal egg in hopes of hitting a shiny could be a potential farming route for you if it's low enough lift, which I would think it would be. Like Jake was saying, it's just a quick mini game, rhythm game, quick tap and check in. So shouldn't be too much of a lift there technically.
I did want to mention too, if I can interrupt real quick, that if you are like FOMOing that you missed out on this investment, or this is the first time you're hearing about Saku, we definitely have a lot more investments coming up through HQ directly, just with the upcoming bull market and everything. There's a lot coming through our pipeline. We're only going to bring you guys the best stuff, and we also have stuff coming through base VC as well. So make sure you have some liquid if you're looking to make those type of investments, and don't FOMO all into just one investment. So there's a lot more coming.
Follow-up question: is anyone looking to buy a spleen? No, I appreciate it, Jacob. Yeah, great shout, man. A lot more to come. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. See what I did there?
Yeah, I wanted to follow up on that. I'm sorry, you might have said this or touched on it briefly, but the limited season eggs, they have an infinite supply, or the seasonal eggs, which is the slime egg right now, has an infinite supply for that time, and then after the season ends, they'll cap it, or they'll end the supply or whatever, cap it, and then it becomes an NFT after the season ends. They'll be tradable.
And then our slugs turn to beautiful butterflies.
So yes, you can play this game for free as well. Like if you missed the egg drop just now, or if you didn't want to spend any money, you can still use these slime eggs and play the game. And I would assume they're still going to do allocation for people who are playing for free. I'm assuming probably not as much. That's usually how these things go. The more you pay, the more you and participate, the more you get. But that's just my guess. But there's still a route to just play it for free if you wanted to as well. And it's like super low time. It's just twice a day. You just have to hopefully see the notification in time and tap.
Beautiful. Anything else from? I know we've got some Saku Maxis in chat. Anything you guys want to chime in, or bull case, anything like that? I think we're holding it down. Like, we got a handful of people in the top 100 on the leaderboard. All right. If not, we can put a bow on it. That's all good. I'm going to give Jake here a little room to breathe and insert here just a quick field report roundup. It's a light one this week. We only had 2. They're both pretty good. So we got Mezzo. This is a Bitcoin L2 early farming opportunity by Mint Mazal. TLDR, they've got 21 million in funding. They have a proof of hodl program right now, which has point boost going on, and it's invite only. So you guys know the drill. If you need invite codes, just check referral codes. I'm sure somebody would be happy to hook you up. And then the other one, we have Bitcoin Cancel and Speed Up Transaction Guide by Swag God. I love this, man. It's reminiscent of the old like ETH contract minting or like gas guides, but it's straight up that he just walks us through how to get out of a sticky situation in the Bitcoin mempool. So shout out to Mint Mazal and Swag God for the field reports. Love to see it. And then I had one thing that I wanted to ask you about earlier, Jake. I'm gonna circle back now. And this might ruffle some feathers. I'm sure we probably have some hot takes in the audience here. Hopefully, I see Raga here. I see JJ here. They might have something to say. Yuga sold off some of their gaming IP over the weekend, last week. They sold Legends of Mara and they sold Heavy Metal. And I was just curious if you had any takes here, man, because I know it was kind of a whiplash moment, kind of controversial, a little heated in chat. But did you have any take either way, Jake? On this is this a good move for them? Is this just abandonment of their holders? Was the ecosystem too convoluted? Do you have a take either way here?
Yeah. I'm not sure what other people's takes are. At least the people, especially I love to hear from people who played those games. I didn't play those games personally, and I actually like this move. I think it makes sense to pare down what I already thought was like you mentioned, like it's too convoluted ecosystem. There was just like so much shit going on that I like didn't really understand, and like this was like probably some of the biggest stuff that was like, it was like in depth and I didn't really get how like it fit into everything and like with the Bored Apes and other side. And it felt like I had to like really dig into a bunch of research to understand it. And like the reward didn't seem like it was there. And there's also like a ton of NFTs and like supply attached to these things. What is it? Legends of Mara. And what was the other one again?
Heavy Metal. That was probably the big one.
Heavy Metal. Oh yeah. That kind of was diluting the Yuga ecosystem as well. So, in my opinion, I thought it was a good move to kind of refocus the brand a little bit more. Pair off, shed off some of these things, and it sounds like they're not just. And I think it's good that at least from outside review, again, like I haven't done as much research probably as the people who are participating in this ecosystem. But from my initial view, it seems better. It seems like at least they're not like, just like sunsetting it. They're like handing it off to another established brand to run on it. But maybe that's a naive take. Again, I don't know a ton about it, but it also seems like the market is reacting positively to it as well. Apes seem to have at least locally bottomed around 10 ETH and are back to around 12 ETH now. And I think mutants are doing a little bit better too. I have the chart in front of me right now, but it seemed like the market kind of liked, mutants bounced off about 1.6 and they're actually up to like 2.3. So that's a nice little bounce for them for sure. So it seems like market liked this news. But yeah, I would love to hear from people who are actually involved in the ecosystem.
Man, I could chime in and give my take, but I'm about as minimally exposed to the ecosystem as possible. But I think I agree with you, man. I think that was a reasonable take. I thought they were out of their minds when the games were coming out, just because, I don't know, especially Heavy Metal, it just wasn't fun, man. It just felt like a game that was conceived in a boardroom and no one actually like played it and was like, oh yeah, like got a good feeling from it, like just can't imagine someone playing that and being like, yeah, the people are going to love this, seems like it was more of like a mathematical decision. So anyway, I thought it was a good move because I thought they were barking up the wrong tree with all these several different games, and it just didn't seem feasible. So, and yeah, like you said, good shout. I handed it off to a team instead of just saying thanks for the money, peace. That probably would have done some pretty bad damage to the brand and stuff. I don't know about what is it, Faraway that took over. I don't know anything about them, so I don't know if they have a good track record or if they'll make something fun out of it or salvage it or what's going to happen. But yeah, I think they've had too much going on, man.
Does this impact codas at all? Because I don't really know what the Mara stuff was, but I thought it kind of looked like codas.
It is codas.
Okay, so yeah, what is the deal there?
Question mark. I mean, I think this. I'm really good friends with a big Bored Ape Yacht Club. Maxie's the guy who got me into crypto originally, but he's really pissed off. He feels like a lot of the ecosystem is supposedly leading up to this and other side, and now they're burning this. I don't know. I think it says a lot about, it feels like everything Yuga's been doing is supposedly leading to other side, but are they just going to offload that too at some point?
It's such a funny question because we never really found out what codas were. In the first place. So how do we know how they're impacted? Yeah, I think the idea was it's an other side thing, but then they kept introducing more utility and more benefits for the coda. But now a lot of those are going. So yeah, good question, man.
What's happening with other side? And then when it actually comes out 2, 3, 4 years from now, who even wants that? Where's Yuga going? So on the other side, I see like what Jake was saying is that if this is about focusing back into the apes and in the PFP community, and what they're building a club in Miami and stuff like that. If this is a redirect back towards that, great move. But it leaves a lot of questions about the other side, and a lot of people are heavily invested in it.
One more, just a little data point that was interesting. Right after the news broke, Sola posted a poll in Voice Hangout chat, and it was you could choose between 4 different options. They were like buckets of NFTs. The top one was a coda, which I think was by far and away has the most value out of all the buckets. But then the other buckets were like one Moonbird, one Clone X, and something else. And just like one was like 150 fucking 10K TF items. But surprisingly, the vote was pretty split, man. It was only like 30% went for the coda, which was on paper worth the most. But I think it's just kind of showed the lack of confidence and just confusion about like what it even is or is for. Like, why would you want to hold it as opposed to a collection of different assets? I thought that was interesting. You might be able to scroll back up and catch that, but just you had to be there. You had to see it.
Do we know who they sold to? I think that would be a pretty important input there too.
Yeah, it's far away. It's Far Away. Here we go. Far Away, a seasoned game development team backed by prominent investors like Lightspeed, Sequoia, and A16Z. Acquired Yuga's gaming IP, hoobity hoobla, blah, blah, blah. They built an ecosystem of interoperable games that reward player engagement and loyalty, hoobity hoobla. Yeah, let me Google Far Away real quick. Jake dropped the Twitter.
They did Dookie Dash, did they not?
Yeah.
Aren't they the ones that developed Dookie Dash?
Their first game listed is Dookie Dash.
I think I could see that going like one of 3 ways, maybe, right? One way is that that they're kind of turning into a bit of like a private equity shop for Web3, right? Where they're building the biggest brands or acquiring the biggest brands and building them up and then like offloading them. And that's just their model and that's all they care about. And they offload it to people like this. The second option, of course, is like they're actually getting more focus and they're doing what everybody wants, right? Which is having the membership club concept and everything else. Or it could be both, I guess, is an option too. But I don't know. I feel like all those outcomes are not bad, at least is what it looks like to the market. So I don't know. Those are the 3 that I see, but maybe there's other paths that other people see.
Bragger or JJ, are you guys here? I know you played those games pretty heavily. I'd be interested to hear your take if you have any.
Bro, they are still sharpening the spears and lighting the torches.
I think they're stuck in What's that game?
They're trying to escape the rift. Oh, I don't know.
That other game that they've been playing.
Mara?
No, from
Parallel.
Parallel. Yeah.
Yo. My bad. My mic's wasn't working. Can you hear me?
Oh, dude, you're totally good. Yeah, I don't ever want to bully anybody into kidnapping. We were just kind of joking around. We figured.
No. I was just trying to. My bind is like not working for activating my mic, so just have to manually click. But yeah, no.
Parallel though, JJ.
Yeah, Parallel's been great, dude. Wish I started earlier, but thanks to Raga for making me take the plunge. It's really nice to play these games during like kind of slower times. The rune stuff was pretty cool. But yeah, getting back to Yuga. Yeah, I mean, I think Raga's talked in depth a lot about it. I think you guys kind of hit the nail on the head. There was a lot of unknowns and a lot of upside in the speculation on those unknowns, but at some point it's kind of like all these like stake to airdrops. You just have to kind of get out at some point. Like, I think of like Tia. It's like stake Tia for this, and then you get dim, and you stake dim, and you get this, and you stake dim, and you get this. Like, eventually you'll have to unwind, and I think it was kind of the same thing. I was pretty bearish on the news on the NFTs. It's weird, right? I think it's a good move for Yuga, the company, but if you're an NFT holder, I don't think it'll feel great. I just think at this point, Raga said it best, like the customers now are pretty much the holders, right? I think a lot of the value is going to be driven to the company instead. And, you probably not going to get the same amount of like airdrops and stuff, and really showed that they didn't have a plan for these heavy metals and things like that. But they have a gigantic war chest, I assume, still, pretty much raised at the peak and, continue to get royalties and stuff through all these collections. So I can't imagine that they won't be around. And at some point it'll be, buy low on some assets. But otherwise, yeah, I don't think it feels great to be an ape holder or anything like that.
Well said, man. Appreciate the perspective. The great unwinding. I will say, just because I was talking shit earlier about the games not being fun, that Dookie Dash was actually pretty lit. That was probably the funnest experience. So if that came from far away, then maybe we're in good hands.
Yeah, and I think that's like the core part of it is, the rewards were pretty clear for Dookie Dash 1, and the game was fun too, right? So with heavy metal, you kind of got the opposite on both worlds.
Straight up. Yeah, damn, well said. Man, the minute, I think you were like one of the first to solve it, JJ, or at least I'm going to give you credit for it. But the minute that like it was discovered that the layout of your heavy metal like forge completely dictated like the optimal path, like you had to min-max the actual layout and straight line. Soon as we found out that detail, I was like, wow, this game is fucking ass. Like, I don't know, for some reason that was just the switch in my brain that was like, that the game is supposed to be about decorating your forge, right? Like it's got all these, like they want us to pay real money for fucking couches and lamps and shit. But the gameplay, to min-max the gameplay, you have to make a straight line. I was like, nah, get the fuck out of here, man. These guys have never played a game in their life.
Yeah, that was a good lesson in bag bias, right? Because all the red flags were there, and I even mentioned a lot of them. Like it seemed like they were just doing this to maximize VC metrics, time spent on the computer playing this game, et cetera, et cetera. But just had too much bag bias. I thought it might be worth it because with Dookie Dash, it was real worth it if you played at all.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, the value. Yeah, you got tons of value from playing Dookie Dash. But yeah, it just wasn't there for heavy metal. I'm sure, dude, the daily voting, how predatory is that too, man? I'm sure their daily active user stats were fucking nutty, though.
Phenomenal.
You couldn't leave the page. You couldn't queue multiple actions. God, the whole thing just seems so diabolical.
Yeah, but, I wouldn't sleep on them if there's ever a chance to buy low or get some, I don't know, some form of exposure somewhere else, because I think they'll be around for a long time. It's just I don't know what the current offerings, what'll be worth it, but at some point something should be worth it.
Hope so, man. Well, it seems now the farm has moved on to Parallel and other miscellaneous games.
Yeah, Oh Baby's back. Have you been playing that?
I was about to call you out, man. I was about to say JJ won't tell you Oh Baby, but you'll see online next to his name in the friends list for sure. Up on it. Yeah, Oh Baby just went into open beta I think it's like $18 to buy the full game if you guys want to hop in and start playing. If you've bought anything before, like skins or carts or anything off their store, then you just get in automatically. But should heat up, man. Should be pretty hyped. I think they switched up like how you earn the boxes. I think so now you're earning like the boxes can, like 5 of them can be combined into one good box. So I think you have a little bit of an edge if you were farming the closed beta prior, but open beta, man, still early, still a good time to get in there. They expanded the guilds as well. So we do have some open spots in the MVHQ guild. If you want to get in there and farm with us, there should be some like guild wide rewards and stuff. Just jump in the thread and I'll walk you through how to get synced up.
How is it not free to play? It's such a free to play like game, right? But
yeah, I'd imagine it. Yeah, I would imagine it will be in public. Maybe this is just like early. I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, $18 is pretty reasonable, especially for like the quality of the game. Like I've paid more for worse, but that is a good question. I'd imagine they probably do go free to play because I mean they plan to launch on like consoles and shit like that. I'd imagine they just want to get people in, right?
Well, if you just want to get people in, I mean, so you buy the game. It's very much monetization on top of monetization, right? Because you buy the game and then you get in the game and then you buy the skins and the items and all that kind of stuff. But this is still beta, so I don't even know some betas that you have to pay to play. Like if anything, that sounds early access more than beta.
Yeah, and I think it is more early access.
Yeah,
than
totally
anything. And you don't have to buy anything outside of the game, right? Like there's no pay to win aspects of it. So
yeah, totally normal.
I don't think the price point is unreasonable.
No, yeah, I'm with you there. I do. Yeah, I agree with Stark. If you stack them up, does create a weird dynamic because it's either free to play and then we upcharge you for either battle passes or cosmetics or whatever. Or, you buy the title and then actually, let's be real, you buy the title and then they still charge you for fucking skins and battle passes and shit.
Yep.
Nowadays. But yes, so hopefully when they do go, hopefully this is just like early access. Yeah, potentially. I mean, we're all speculating there's some sort of token attached to this thing. So maybe that's just the barrier to entry to keep people from just max farming this thing. Just chuck over, $18, but and then they just decide to go free once the game launches. But that's just probably wishful speculation. I'm not sure, but even if they do land on $18 price point, I think that's perfectly palatable. It's pretty good, man. It's a good game. I'm trying to get the alpha on how to get into the next games, man, because I know they're launching like a Mario Party clone. They've got like a fucking side-scroll fighter. They've got like open world RPGs. They've got like 6 games in the chamber. So I'm definitely keeping my ears on the ground and eyes peeled on them just to see what they're up to next. If anybody finds out or has any alpha, please share in MVHQ. Yeah, my bad. Did not mean to derail the cart here and talk about Oh Baby for a solid 10 minutes.
I love it.
But it's good. It's a good game. Good
Deliver the alpha.
Yeah, I'd love to see you guys in there and squad up and race together, man. Be fucking tight. Jake, do you have anything else for us? Oh.
Is there a focused discussion on that?
Yes, sir. Yes, there is.
I don't even think I've heard of it.
Oh, baby. You'd like it, man. Hop on it. It's just Mario Kart. It's Mario Kart, but with like crypto drivers and stuff, and the carts and all the skins and stuff for NFTs.
Nice. I'm primed for that. I've been playing the Switch Mario Kart with my son.
Oh, dude, you're absolutely ready. Then you're gonna be top 5 of the guild here. All you need to be a great player is to have played Mario Kart decent amount, at least a little, and have an okay ping. You got to check both those boxes.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Ezra's asking when we're going to get an MVHQ gaming team. I'd be a liar if I said we had not discussed it at some point in the past. It's a lot of moving parts, man.
Yeah, we could talk about Merlin briefly. They did launch their main token, governance token, Merl, a few days ago. Launched around $1.30. It's been pretty down only, unfortunately. It's down to like 92 cents currently. So not a great start. It's still there's still some issues with their staking. They have not released it yet, even though they said they were going to do it by halving, and it hasn't happened yet. I think people are upset about that. I haven't been fully paying attention to it because I didn't have anything staked in that Merlin seal. But THC, I believe you might have. So you might have a little more info there.
Oh boy, this man rolled out the red carpet for me to FUD. Yeah, I'm pissed at Merlin, man. They had Merlin Seal, they had NFT staking or ordinal staking, so you could lock your NFTs up and you can earn the M points. The airdrop has happened. I think everybody's disappointed with the amount they got. That's not the big issue, though. The issue is that they had said they would unlock everyone's assets in Merlin Seal for the halving. Like they kind of implied that you'd have your shit when the halving happens. And it's been some days now. So their Discord was kind of up in arms. I kind of joined the mob of just basically unlock our shit. Like, what the fuck's going on? It was just radio silence. They posted an announcement 3 to 5 days. This was yesterday. They said 3 to 5 days, people are going to be able to unstake. Issue I think that most people are pissed about is I think runestones specifically are I think maybe puppets too, but there's a couple snapshots that are happening right now, like as we speak, and that are already being completed and they're already done. All of our shit is in their staking wallet, and they're claiming that we are going to be able to get all of the airdrops that correspond with the staked NFTs, but I don't think anybody's buying it just because like they're acting like they're still coding the unstake, which is just frankly kind of bizarre and unusual, very atypical to be coding the unstake at this point. Now that the halving has happened, the fees are higher. It's just pretty wild. But anyway, people are just pretty pissed, and you've already missed. If you staked a runestone like I did, you've already missed tons of free mints, tons of snapshots. All just kind of trust in the Merlin team, and now they're fumbling the bag, fumbling the trust. I ended up getting banned from the Discord by telling them to get their shit together. But hey, man, sometimes you got to say it. So that's where I'm at with Merlin. I'll always keep it 100. I've been riding the Merlin train for months now, but I have firmly exited the tram, and now I'm cussing at it as it speeds away.
Yeah, we've been talking about That's rough. That is certainly rough. I know that's shitty to have it locked up, and not being able to reap the rewards of those airdrops. Sure, I know because there've been some pretty juicy ones too. Like I said, we've been talking about Merlin many times, and there has been a good amount of cooks on there so far. But we got to highlight the bad as well on here, right? So we have the full picture, the full amount of info. So unfortunate. Hopefully that gets sorted out here soon, so people can get their assets ready to go. The bridge, it sucks that the bridge is still limited too, which I feel like certainly is hurting the chain, hurting prices of the assets on the chain. It's like limited how much you can bridge out in one transaction. Just not the best user experience at the moment for sure. So hopefully down the line, maybe it's going to be more of a long-term play than we originally thought. With some of these assets on Merlin chain, until they get some things straightened out in the user interface part, as well as getting staking unlocked for everyone.
Yeah, I feel like 100% about just transparency. Just make sure and we share both sides of it. Right now, I feel like their back is against the wall. They're in a pretty tricky situation where they've hurt the trust, their tokens dumping, and people want their assets out. So if they unlock all at once, it could be disastrous for their ecosystem. So I feel like the 3 to 5 days, this is purely my speculation. I'm just talking my shit. I feel like the 3 to 5 days is probably not them coding a fucking unstake function. I feel like they're trying to pull the rabbit out of the hat, come up with a Pac-Man level fucking reason to keep your shit locked, reason to compound further. The announcement that said 3 to 5 days also had a whole paragraph highlighting, your stuff will be able to trade on Merlin with low fees, and keep in mind that when you bridge out, there will be high fees and this and that. Like they're already trying to plant those seeds of please stay. But fuck, man, I don't know if they're gonna have a problem on their hands unless they do some sort of triage immediately. But that's just my cynical take. Burn it down, burn it to the ground, but not until everyone has got their Bitcoin out, obviously.
Yeah, anything else on Merlin? I guess we didn't really give how much alpha there.
Sorry.
Complaining. But that's all right. I'm all wrapped up there.
Fuck, me too. Sorry to end on such a low note. I'm just like, fuck Merlin.
There was another Bitcoin L2 that I heard about when Merlin came out. Some guy I was talking to was like, Merlin shit, all this stuff. I went in with like $50,000.
Was it Mezzo by any chance?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't, and I haven't seen it mentioned anywhere else yet. I'll try to look for it and I'll come back to you.
Oh my God. Yeah, it sounds like the alpha, man.
Yeah, I certainly think like these Bitcoin scaling infrastructure, like these L2s, I'm sure at least one or two are going to do really well. I guess just finding which one that is going to be. It seems like the space is getting more competitive with some more launching. So I think it's going to be a good play to get in on these ecosystems early, kind of like what we did with Merlin and like getting the first meme coin. And, they did rewards for people who held that and like did swaps. And like it was definitely a cook if you like multi-accounted and farmed originally when the chain first came out. And I think that's probably going to be the case for a lot of these Bitcoin L2s. So if you do see one early on and like you see it hasn't launched or it just launched, it's probably a good idea to put a little extra work in, do a little more DD and figure out, what's the hot dApps on that chain, what can I farm on there right now? Is there any like NFTs or ordinals or whatever that I can get in on, like how to get in the airdrop? I think there's going to be some pretty good asymmetric bets there because I believe there's going to be a lot of interest in Bitcoin infrastructure in this next cycle in general, with Bitcoin obviously being the biggest thing, and we didn't have that last cycle, so it's also like the new thing in crypto, I guess, is just like being able to scale Bitcoin, like having NFTs, DeFi, lower fees, all that stuff in general, I think is probably going to play out. And there's going to be a lot of profitable bets if you can, get in on some stuff early.
So I found the other one, Mezzo. He did mention Mezzo, but the first one the guy mentioned was Threshold. I just posted their blog.
Sweet. Thank you. Appreciate that. And if you guys are listening and want to know more about Mezzo, just a reminder, new field report, Mitmasol, go check it out. Jake, you have a way with words, man. You made me have an epiphany during your monologue just now. I think you're right. You're totally right, man. It's all about the new shiny thing, right? Stick and move, keep it moving, find the new thing. That's where the biggest asymmetric opportunities and arbitrage and stuff are. I think, with Merlin, you nailed it, man. We were early. We got in. We cooked off Foya, did excellent. And I think, I took a sip of the Kool-Aid and was like, damn, this shit's good. And then I just fully submersed myself in it and poured it all over my head. I've been drinking the Kool-Aid for too long, man. So great shout. Just it's you got to keep it moving, man. Focus on the next thing. May have overstayed our welcome.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like Merlin's going to die by any means. I think it probably still will do pretty well. There probably will be opportunities there. I just don't know if it will be like the chosen one, right? Of Bitcoin L2s. I don't know if it'll be the dominant one. I think it's gonna be obviously more work and more time spent if you are going to be switching from one L2 to one to L2, rotating as you said. But I think that's probably where most upside is going to be, is if you stay informed, right? You're also learning about what's going on in these different ecosystems, and then you're going to be able to get in early on some pretty good bets. Like if you spread it out a little bit more and do some rotating, as opposed to just sticking with one. But again, that does take more work and that does take more time to do that. So that's probably why. That's also how you're going to reap more reward in that sense too. And again, not to say Merlin's just going to go away. I think it'll still be good. It just is one of those things that remains to be seen what comes out on top.
Yeah, totally. Did not mean to intend to put words in your mouth that Merlin's going to die. Those are my words. So at least until I get my rune back in my hands, then I'll change my tune. But totally. I mean, other, sort of ecosystems, chains, you got Monad, apparently Tyco, which I did not know shit about until over the weekend. But Monad, Tyco, even Base, is getting some mention in chat here. Base is getting farmed as well. So tons of things to shift your attention to if you need to.
Is there? I don't. I think that's about it for me as far as I wanted to chat about or had prepared.
Sorry about that.
Is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about? Anything that we missed that's popping or that's going on this week?
Magic Eden gem claim, I think, is imminent. Maybe.
Oh. Yeah, for ETH wallets, right? That was for?
I think it might be the actual.
They already did a claim for ETH wallets. I think that ended. There might be another claim for something else, or they're adding like base, I think, integration maybe. So they'll see a bunch of our Tycho NFTs on there. But
they're adding base and runes, I think, both this week. But yeah, Solana and Ethereum both had their diamond claim already. Should be one coming for Bitcoin, right?
Okay, maybe that's what it is, the Bitcoin one.
Okay, appreciate the context there.
I think
You got a good shot on
People are
runes.
still farming. Like, I'm still kind of in the Solana community, so I know a lot of them are farming runes on Solana just by like listing their mad lads and shit. They think it's going to be profitable.
it could be beneficial to list like the top 10 projects that are getting gold on Blast, so people can maybe refocus where they're.
Yeah, that was a good call. I was gonna bring that up too. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah, Blast just released their new like gold distribution, the second one. So you can see all the projects like Seth was saying. They got allocated. It's in this blog that I just posted. Sorry, just typing real quick. If you just scroll down to the bottom of that blog, there'll be like a link to a CSV. I didn't want to post that because I know people are wary about picking those links in Discord. But it's a CSV that shows, the distribution across all the apps, as far as how much gold each one got. And I think that's a good way of allocating your time. I guess doing a little bit of, maybe some actual math, but maybe mental math too, of like how much, users are on these apps, like based on like how much gold and like where the opportunity lies in these different areas. If you are playing the farm game, like you can see like Thruster got the most. That's a deck site that like everyone uses on Blast, so that one's understandable. I think one obviously very notable that we talked about a bunch already, MVHQ, but District 1 is right there at number 2 in terms of gold allocated at 730,000. So hopefully that's going to be a pretty big hook. I think we should know pretty soon at like what the actual allocation ended up being like per space and per person for this next distribution. I'm not sure if they've set an exact date on that one yet. So then some other notable ones like YOLO Games is next, like tied for third there at like 550. Captain Company as well, another one that we've talked about a good amount. I know people are farming. A little bit more down there, like Cambria is up there at like 270K. Blast. Some other ones. I know Early Fans is one that people started talking about a bit and getting into. I think that's a SocialFi app. And then IKB, which is like the sports pick'em one. That one got like 55K gold, which is pretty good because I don't think they have a ton of users. So that one might be a good farm if you're into like sports betting and like props and stuff. So yeah, those are some of the notable ones that I'm seeing here. MVHQ's down there, 500 baby.
If you want to rotate, if you're either new to Blast or if you're trying to rotate to take advantage of the best gold opportunity, that adding another column G, and doing what Jake did, doing some basic math and figuring out how many users are there, you could take advantage of some of the lower gold total distributions, because I think most heavy players are probably going to be focused on like the top 15 dApps just because they can throw their money at it. But if you don't have, a ton of funds, finding something in the bottom half that doesn't have a ton of users could be really beneficial, I think. Like I've never heard of a bunch of these down there. Never seen them even mentioned. I don't know what Peanut Games is, but I like peanuts.
I've tried Peanut Games. Peanut Games is like a bubble blast thing. They've got like NFTs on another chain, the bubble bots, which I think give you some more allocation. it's like a daily game, but then you have to get gems to keep playing. I tried it for a couple of days. It didn't really work very well, but yeah, they did get some gold, so
Yeah,
you can
I
try.
think that 2,000 level's kind of pushing where I would try to enter, but maybe what is that from Element up to like Blaze, somewhere in that you might be able to find a low use, a relatively low use depth.
Yeah, I agree. I'm seeing like Sakai Glory, for instance. Like I know people that were farming that, and like the fact that that only got 2K is like pretty bad in my opinion.
Yeah, not to mention the team are pretty much under investigation by Pac-Man.
Yeah, I've heard that too, so that's probably why. But yeah, agreed. I think some of these in like the 9K, 40K, 50K, 70K range, all those, if you can get in. I think Early Fans was one that people were farming. So there might be some info in here about that. I'm not really sure. I just heard it briefly.
There's some very few users on like GM and meme on like meme.fun. I put in Ethan. I bought 13 or 14 different keys from 2 keys from 7 different communities, and I have 0.75 invested with 0.25 liquid, and I'm global rank 123. So, and they have 74,000 gold to give out. So I feel like that's pretty low risk. I'm not like what was it, Sekai Glory or whatever. You had to like re-roll and keep paying money to even rank up, and people got destroyed on that. Whereas something like meme.fun, you put the money in and you're just holding keys, so at least you can get some liquid out. You do have to deposit to their interface. It's all off-chain transactions once the money goes into your account. But it's really easy to get liquid again. You might lose a little bit here and there. I bought a few pack moons when I first got involved a couple days ago, and I sold those for profit. So I'm running in the green currently, but keeping that global rank up, I feel like in the top few hundred when they have 73,000 gold is a pretty good play.
Yeah, great job. And it's still, we've mentioned this again several times over the past weeks, but I still think like Blast stuff is going under farm right now for the opportunity. I still think there's a lot of good areas, and the more I guess research and DD you do, and like talking to other people who are farming, I think you can find some good opportunities for lower cost as well. That hopefully will more than make up the amount that you ended up spending on it.
You guys think we could use a Blast farming focused event, or like a office hours or something specifically for that?
Yeah, potentially. The thing is that it's always kind of rotating.
Yeah,
but I think the focused discussion is pretty good. Maybe just having a little segment on here weekly to, if there's been like a massive rotation or like a really good opportunity that people have noticed, it could be worth like
that's a great call.
One I always find as well, there's 2 ways to farm Blast. There's the list that comes out, but then there's also some research that you can do on Twitter and other places where you actually catch these projects before they've launched. That is often one of the best ways to get in on stuff really early for Blast. I feel like once it hits the list, that's when it kind of hits the momentum. But if you can get in there a bit earlier, so there's been a few Twitter spaces held by different people like Captain and Co. and some other spaces, and they invite a lot of these new projects that haven't minted properly yet. And that's where I've picked up a few things. Randomly, a couple there. Pug Life, that's one that's not really hit the main board or the main spreadsheets yet. Also, the Colony is another one, which is like Courtyard.io, but it's going to be on Blast. I put a referral in the referral links if anyone wants to have a look at that, or just check the link out. These haven't launched yet, and that's one way to basically try and tick some of this stuff off before the hype and the allocations kick in.
Yeah, that's a good point. The sheet that comes out is definitely a trailing indicator. Because you found Captain Co before anybody else really talked about it, right? Or
yeah,
did, and you earned like 40 gold from a couple
like
days worth of play, right?
yeah. I quickly jumped in on that, but I was like, if I'd done it like 3 days earlier, I would have done like super well. But yeah, that was that to me, that's probably more valuable than jumping on everything that's kind of landed. But I think you can do a bit of both, like play with the top, play with the bottom.
Yeah, that makes a lot. That would definitely be, good things to shout is if you find anything that is being talked about launching versus stuff that's already launched, unless it's, a really good opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. I'll link the colony if anyone wants to look at that. It's not the ants colony on Say, like a lot of you might expect me to be posting, but it's a different project with the same name.
Are there any like accounts or like maybe like keywords that you're like following on Twitter to find these?
Yeah, I'm doing accounts that have tagged the Blast account, which, and then I'll look for words like mainnet or beta or testnet. That's one way I'm doing it. The other one is I am joining the Captain and Co. do a Spaces, which is like, there's a couple of accounts. One of them is like upcoming on Blast, which is where a lot of teams are joining. There's one called Mind Palace. There's one called Ugaverse, which is coming up. And I kind of listen to what each of the teams are talking about, what they're doing, check each of them out. I'll post a link to both of those different Twitter Spaces and also a couple of other areas that I'm using.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Love the alpha.
Yeah, because one thing to remember is like the competition and everyone that played the competition for the Big Bang, that is like done. Now there's all these new projects, new teams that are all coming to join the party. And that's where I think a lot of the value is that we need to be jumping on, or that I'm looking to jump on.
Yes, sir. I agree. Great shout. I wasn't even really thinking about that. Sweet, y'all. Anything else on Blast before we wrap it up here?
Just last thing, Fantasy.top is probably one of the most hyped ones. They are going to cut off a snapshot. I put a note in time sensitive. If you put in some funds before they launch, you'll get some kind of kicker. It looks like a good one to farm if you're already in it or not in it. But yeah, if you were considering joining the Fantasy.top, then chuck some money in your wallet on their platform.
Oh yeah, good call about that one. So did you say, sorry, they haven't launched yet, or they're launching some feature or something?
So they went from beta and they're going to go into mainnet. Right now, you can kind of see where you landed from your beta work, and you can start funding your account. And then they've said in the recent announcement that there'll be an incentive for depositing more than your pack allowance prior to launch. And it's not launched yet, but they said they're going to insert closing date for airdrop claims. So check your airdrop, fund your account, and they're going to post a launch date soon. So I feel like that one's quite time sensitive, but I don't know what it actually is going to be. But if you were going to play that game, then it's worth jumping in and funding that account.
Is that all able to be done? Because it feels really restricted when I go to go in there. I'll dig into it more myself, but I wasn't able to like buy packs yet. I don't think you're able to do that.
No.
Were you able to? You were able to fund it already though.
You're able to fund your wallet on the platform.
Okay.
And you're able to see your pack allocation and your fan score, or whatever the hell it's called.
Okay. Yeah, I can't figure out how to fund it.
If you log in, it
I'll
should.
about it after though.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. Ryan H, the testnet is over now, so they're just waiting to launch.
And I think tournaments, they said, are going to start on May 1st or something.
Yeah. And I've been joking with the team about trying to get a hero card. If anyone wants to help me out by pumping my, just giving me a share or a like on my post about getting my hero card, I would very much appreciate that.
Oh, let's get Ezra in the honorary. Let's do it.
I will post that link to where you can do that. And
do that. Do that for Ezra. He's dishing out all the alpha today.
Yeah, and if you sign up, they're also giving you bonuses for holding assets on different chains. Like WIF gets bonuses, a bunch of different, like Ethereum, NFTs get bonuses, some Bitcoin ordinals get points. So even if you haven't been involved on Blast or any of that, if you've been involved in Solana, obviously Ethereum or Bitcoin, it's worth checking out to see if you have points, because you could have some discounted or even free mints on the packs that are going to go live.
And if you want a multi-wallet because you have more than one asset, split the assets up prior. For example, I had 2 Mad Lads, but I could only get the fan points for 1 Mad Lad.
Love it. Any other Blast ones? Sweet. Yeah, I mean, we've been running for over an hour now. Is there anything else you guys wanted to chat about before we wrap it up here? I mean, obviously, we'll still be in BC about whatever, but
what alpha came out of Dubai? I heard somebody mentioning some Chinese duck shitcoin that's going to take over the internet.
EOP Daddy was in Dubai. If Jacob's around, maybe another meeting.
What'd you say there?
Seth was asking for if there's any alpha from Dubai.
The alpha from Dubai is that gutters and sewers are essential to any thriving city. I would say those are number one priority.
Oh, you had to go through that, man.
It's all right. It was a fun time, but not too much alpha from Dubai. It sounded like DOP had a bunch of stuff at the conference. We didn't actually go to the main conference. It's usually a rug, but got to meet up with Hans the Human. He's doing some cool stuff for IO.net, which seems pretty fire as well. So I'll definitely check them out. We'll probably do a mission with them or something. I think they have their mainnet launch maybe in like 10 days or something. It's like an AI, something AI, and they're doing payments on Solana. So that was really dope. And Merlin is a ladies' man. That's also alpha. If you didn't know that already, but definitely not what I was expecting about Dubai, but it was a cool trip overall.
Gutters, got it.
Gutter Cat Gang.
They ain't flooding.
Wait, well, TJ, I know you gotta go soon, and I don't know if you have left already, but I think we can wrap up here.